welcome to update number, I'm not saying it because it's unlucky for some. Made some more progress on the kit. I thought I'd share with you. I've been basically working away on the sort of like the cargo area and the shuttle bay storage area as well. We've got the rear wall in now for the cargo pods that go in. I just need to get the decals put on those. This has had a couple of coats of gloss acrylic paint over the top of it. It's basically some pretty cheap stuff really, actually, but it'll be fine for the inside of the ship. It's not really so much of a problem. So that's kind of in the position where it's ready to go. I just need to look at supporting the edges on those, especially on this side, because it is actually drooping down slightly. I mean, once we've got the walls in place, that should actually help bring it back up a level again anyway, so that's not really too much of an issue. And the walls are actually helped to sort of bring this back down as well, because it is a little bit sort of bouncy in the middle there, so hopefully that should bring that back up again as well. And then by the time this whole thing is actually glued to the inside of the ship, that should also help bring that down again. But the main thing I've been working on is the rear wall that goes across the back there. It wasn't long enough, so I had to lengthen it. So what I did from the other side is I cut off the very end piece there, and then sanded it down, got it looking good, and then added it to the sidewall here, as you can see. So that's in place now. All I'm going to do is just brace that from the other side, a little bit down there and also a little bit across there as well, just to help strengthen that joint up. I mean, that is bare plastic to bare plastic joint, so that should be okay. The only thing that I need to do on this part now really is get the walkway in, and that'll be fine, and then just get the other little bits of photo etch put onto that. But if we get this part here and then put that to there like so, you'll actually see that that does now fit right to the edge of that particular part there. So that's pretty good. So I'm happy that we got that done. Also been working on the sidewalls as well in the shuttle bay itself. Now that part is, if we get that into camera properly, as you can see, that part is just a little bit too short to fit in there properly. It's about 1.5 centimeters to 2 centimeters off. So what I've done is, again with the other side wall, I've basically cut a section out in the middle of that one just before or just after the observation windows there, and that's the part that I took out. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut it in exactly the same place, add that little extension piece in, and then bolt sorry, not bolt, but glue this end piece back onto it again, and then I'll strengthen it from the back again as well, just to make sure that that we've got a really good bond there. And then that, if I can try and do it without getting everything in the way, so hopefully you can see there, that is roughly the right length. Now the good thing is there is between sort of like the edge of this and also the edge of that one, there's a little bit of photo etch that goes in across this bit here, so hopefully that should help to hide the seams. Might need to use a bit of plastic putty in between the two little seams that we've got there as well. Again, I need to do that on that one as well, just to help hide the seams, and then I can just get the last little bits of photo etch on that, then get that properly painted and then clear coated, get the decals on it, and then I'll finally be able to get that put into place on here, and then at least we'll have some sort of an assembly of the shuttle bay area. So it's pretty exciting. So once this bit's done, I'll then be able to move on and get all the lights put in on the bottom here, get the lights put in, a couple of lights on the bottom for the shuttle bay stowage area as well. And then I'll also be able to, once the whole thing's together, I'll be able to get the elevator put in place, be able to get a shuttlecraft also put into storage there, can get the lift in with one shuttlecraft on the lift. One of the other things I'll actually be able to do as well is once these walls are finalised in place properly, I'll be able to get the exact place that I need to put the decals in for the 1, 2 and 3 for the little pods, travel pods that go in. And, oh sorry, not the travel pods, the worker bees. So once the decals are in place on that side, I'll then be able to replicate them on that side. I'll also be able to get the stand clear decal in place there, give the top part its final coat of gloss, and then work on the SMDs on the bottom side of it. So we're kind of getting there really. I'm kind of hoping through this video we're going to be able to make some pretty good progress on this. I've also done a little bit of work to the fuel tank as well. So we've got all of the little beady bits in, or the little nodules, whatever you want to call them. They're in place. Some of them aren't exactly spot on level, but you know, I mean, it's good enough really. I mean, you're not going to see 95% of that detail anyway, so it's not really an issue. I've just sprayed those down with a little bit of Tamiya grey paint just to sort of help see where I needed to do any work if I needed to. But on the whole, that's not looking too bad. Happy with the way that that's going. Just need to get the deck built for that, for the warp drive to go on. Sorry, the core itself. Once that's done, I'll then be able to start building that up. But at the moment, I just really want to try and concentrate on the shuttle bay area just to get that looking as good as I possibly can. So as soon as I made some more progress on this wee beastie that we've got going on here, I will come back to you. I managed to finish the cut and shut job that I needed to do on the landing deck wall. Basically, we've cut the section off there with this. It's a fine tooth saw, that one. So we've just cut straight down the edge of this part here, and then moved along two, and then cut down the end of that one. So you could glue those back together again and have a short wall, but we're not going to do that. And then basically all I did again on this one is just cut the wall directly there, and then added the new part to it, and then pushed the old part back up against that again. So that's what that's looking like. So that's quite cool. And then if you look on that side, we've put some a little bit of bracing on the back side there, just to help stiffen that up a little bit more. So all I really need to do now on this side is just do a little bit of sanding, make sure that they're nice and level, and then just do a little bit of puttying on those, and then that'll be good to go. So this now, if we can get this to sit down properly, we'll go on the wall just about there. So if we just zoom in a little bit for you, whoop, too far, there you go. So that's what that's going to look like once that's in place. Let's just get that, there we go. So that's what that's going to look like. We've basically got the little edges there where we can put the decals, so that's great. I'm happy with that. We can get those decals in pretty quick now, and then seal the flight deck again, and then I'll be able to put all the LEDs and stuff in there. So that's looking good. So the only thing I need to do now is just really wait for the glue on this to dry properly before I do anything else to it. You know, I don't want to start sanding this down at the moment until the glue's really dried. I mean, the glue was put on to sort of a clean plastic surface as well. There was no paint on either sides of those. So yeah, and again with this one, I just need to wait for the glue to dry on that, and then I'll start working on that, and I'll be able to also get the little walkway in place as well. which would be great. So I'm going to crack on, get those bits done, and then I'll be able to get those two parts glued together once everything's sorted out. Once I've got this part painted up again properly and that part painted up again properly, I'll then be able to get the two parts glued together and then stuck down onto the base. So as soon as I've got some more work done to it, I will come back to you. Got some more work done to the shuttle bay area of the ship. If you just bring this up, we've got the photo etching that was missing, so we've got the end piece there, we've got the 5 pieces down there. On the standard kit that should be 4, but because we've added the extra piece in there we need to put 5 on there. It's the same with this part here as well. I've also re-added a piece that fell off there. Luckily enough we had the spares to do it. We've also got the walkway in place as well now, which runs the whole length. Just need to wait for that to dry, because I do need to just lob off the end slightly there, but I'd rather wait for that to dry off completely before we do that. I've also put the holes in there as well for the lights to go in, so I just need to add another 2 SMDs to the back of that, and then that will be done. The other thing that we've got done as well is the end wall for the shuttle bay there. Now as you can most probably see, we'll point out one glaring mistake on this, but this is where we've added the patch panel in. The reason why you can tell that is because these gaps are fairly even there with the ribs, and that one isn't. There's not enough room there really in between the 2 squares to actually get one in that's going to be the same size, but you know, not so worried about that, to be quite honest. It's not really an issue for me, and as you can tell that's gone in there pretty seamless as well. You can't really see the joints in there, so that's great. Happy with that. So just letting that dry off completely now that's been painted, and then I can just marry those 2 sections up once I've got that all painted back up again. Be able to marry the 2 up and then get those into position. Whilst I've been waiting for paint to dry and just generally fluffing about, I've got one of the airlocks in there on the side of the ship. What I've done, if you can see this, just for the sake of detail that you're not actually going to see, we've added an airlock on that side as well. And also we've got the shuttle in, one of the little travel pod things. That's not actually glued in properly, but if we look from there, that's where it come through. Basically all I've done is I've drilled that hole out, so you can actually see right through now into the other airlock there. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I've just done that, as I say, whilst I'm just waiting for paint to dry and other bits and pieces. I just got a bit bored, so I thought, well, I might as well just do a little bit of work to this. But yeah, that's quite good. I'm going to try and remove the rear of that, so we got a little bit of light that can go into there, and hopefully we might be able to see a figure or 2 that goes into those things. Not sure yet, just have to look at the logistics of that one really, but if we can get some light going into that from inside there, that'd be kind of cool. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. So next up for me really is just to finish this part off, get the decals on this. Once that's finished off and the decals are on, I'm able to get that put onto that, get it cleared, and then once that's all sort of cleared and dried, I'll then be able to attach it to the model and get that sorted out, get the decals on there, and then hopefully from there I'll be able to start getting the rest of the bits sorted out. So yeah, keep fingers crossed. This is moving along a bit quicker than it was before, so going in the right direction, and I'm just jabbiting, so piss off. So we're one step closer now. We've got all of the painting done to this part now. Let's just get those wires out of the way. So as you can see there, We've got the M part blended in nicely. We've also got the SMDs on the back. I just need to cover those in a bit of goo. Those ones there and there, just to help light block them like these ones. And we've also got the decals in place as well now on there. So once those decals are dried, I just give that a nice clear coat, just to help those decals set in and stay in place, and that'd be fine. I've also taken the liberty, because we had a big gap there, I just thought that I would put a little decal in there, just to kind of give it a little bit of something, really, to kind of help try and explain why we got a big gap. So I thought, well, if we put something in there like that will help it, you know. It looks as though it could sit there, you know, so that's the main thing. So I'm happy with that, happy with the way that turned out. So I just need to give that a clear coat once that's settled in. So that's those bits kind of almost done. So just go wait for those decals to dry, then I need to clear coat it, and the same with the other bit. Then I can get those bits kind of stuck together, which is great. So the next part for me now is to work on this part here a little bit, because we've got the decals, or these decals to go in on these parts here, and then we've also got that part at the back there, if we can get that into shot. There we go. So we've got those decals there as well to go in. So that's my next part, really. That's the part that I'm going to work on next. I'm also building a support at the moment as well for this part here. So basically we're going to have a little support that goes on there, and that's going to help, if I can get me tweezers, just so we can, there we go, gotcha. So I'm going to put a little support just there. We can get it in place like so. If we can, that's going to be a little tricky bugger, isn't it, to try and hold one in place. So yeah, I'm going to have a little support just there, really, to help support that section of the upper deck. One of the other things that I've done to this as well is I have dug out the little channels that we need to run the wires through as well. So we're getting there slowly but surely, as I say. So I'm just going to get the decals on both those parts. We've also got the decal on the floor there to go in. Now I have actually noticed that it does say 1, 2, 3, 4 on there, and then you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 at the back. So that will be fine. I'll be able to get that in there without a problem. I've also got the decal to go on to the elevator as well itself. I'm just waiting for the clear to dry on that, and I'll be able to get that on there too. So we are kind of getting pretty close to doing this, or getting this built up. Whether it's going to be finished completely in this update or not, I don't know, or whether we can actually get the sidewall in place or not. Again, at the moment, I don't know, but we're getting there. We're getting close, you know, and that's the main thing. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this, I will come back to you. So we got the decals down now on the cargo bay area. So we've got them on the back wall there. We've also got the big decal down there, and then we've also got the little decals down on that side as well. So that's looking good. Just need to wait for the decals to dry now, really. I've also got that done as well. That's the elevator. So that's on and looking good. So I just, as I say, need to wait for the decals to dry on those. As soon as they're dried, I can then just go over the whole lot with some clear varnish just to seal those in. And then on the sidewall, I'll be able to put a little blob of glue into the little lights that run down the walls of the corridors there, and then I'll be able to get the glue in as well for the windows as well, microcrystal clear in the windows for the landing bay area. I've also got the stand clear on the landing deck there. That actually broke halfway through the sea, and you can't actually see where it's broken there, but yeah, that was bit of trial and error to get that spot on back again. So because it's the only stand clear decal I had, and I wanted to put that in, so I just took a little bit of extra effort really just to make sure that that was going to lay down properly and make sure that the C was connected. So just need to wait for all of these decals to dry. Yeah, I mean with this one again, I've just still got to put the decals down either side. I just still need to work out where I am going with those. But yeah, we're not looking too bad at the moment. We're making some good progress. I think I might be calling quits on this video. I think this is about as far as I'm going to get on this one for this video. So not quite as far as I wanted to, if I'm to be honest, but hey ho, never mind. This part has been a bit slow going. The next video, hopefully we should see the two sidewalls put back together again, and we should hopefully be able to see the decals and also the lights going in for the main shuttle bay for the shuttle deck or the landing deck, and getting all of those bits sorted out. So hopefully not too much more to go on this. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because this kind of is a bit slow going for me really. Still all a little bit trial and error. So thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you in part 14 of this build. We still haven't got anywhere near the actual main build itself yet. So this is a bit crazy. Catch you later guys.